The Council. This report is restricted to senior agency personnel only. Violation of this rule will result in the termination of the reader's position, and all memory of that person's time at the agency will be erased. Because all supernatural, paranormal, and other type of creatures need to be documented, so does the Council. The Council is a creature that is used as a medium for the ones in charge of the agency. This is to prevent their identities from ever getting out. No senior agent, researcher, or guardian has the knowledge of who is actually part of the leadership of the Council. All that is known is that there are 3 active members who managed an aspect of the agency's running and 4 more passive members who aid the active members in such operations. Each of the members of the Council also have similar code naming conventions as the rookie, veterans, and senior level members. Just to remind you, the rookies have code names of the street they were recruited on, the veterans with the alias of the city of their first major achievement in the agency, and the senior level members of the state or region that they achieved their most valued mission in, the one that got them promoted. The members of the Council take on the code names of the countries that the agency's founders were born in: USA, China, Britain, Egypt, Jerusalem, Russia, and Brazil. Because the strange oddities, weird items, and unusual creatures and people aren't restricted to a single country, there are active agency operations going on all over the world. All that come from the separate operations that all came together in the past. To collaborate and share information to better protect people with, working together to avoid dying apart. Each of the active Council members all hold domain over a crucial aspect of the agency, such as agents, the ones who actively go out and investigate, capture, or kill the supernatural creatures and phenomena that emerge, hopefully before they have too much of an impact on society. Then there are the researchers, learned men and women of science and the occult. They examine and figure out the methods these creatures hurt or benefit people, and as needed, develop cures, weapons, and counters to what the agents locate in the field. Finally, we have the guardians, the ones responsible for guarding precious artifacts, creatures, and unfortunately, infected humans. Those too far gone to be able to blend back into society. They are also the ones who are responsible for wiping memories, altering media reports, and keeping the government out of the agency's business. All 3 are vital to the agency's functionality, and the best of the best are the ones chosen for such duties. Ones who can tolerate the truth that the world is much stranger than actually known. As of this report, the current active Council members are USA, China, and Jerusalem. Previously it was Russia, Britain, and Egypt. Because of the vital duties these members have and do, they must never meet. It is too much of a risk that our enemies will be able to cripple the agency by wiping out our leadership in one blow. This multi-faced creature has correspondent masks of an unknown material. Each one of the masks are in the possession of a Council member. When the owners of the mask places them on their faces, they take control of one of the faces of the Council and are able to communicate and have the Council copy their facial features. They can both see and hear whatever the Council sees and interact with each other in one of the more secured methods out there. It's not really using psychic telepathy or even soul-to-soul communication. In the 500 or so years since the agency was founded, the method has never been discovered or breached. Just that it was secure and there hasn't been any side effects. Well, except for one. See, those who wear the Council masks can draw on the knowledge of the previous owners. Just imagine the knowledge of all the prior heads that is accessible by the leaders of the organization. With that, there's no surprises buried in the organization. Nothing that the agency heads can hide from its successors. Because knowledge is progress and keeps the mistakes from the past from being repeated. Somehow, and this researcher theorizes, the members of the council know the time they're going to pass from this world. It's probably due to the high-level seer in our employ, the web eater. So, once they know they're going to die soon, either from age, unnatural injuries from their field days, or just an accident, the member in question will begin to look for and train their successor. Said successor will have all records of their time at the agency erased. Well, not their achievements or discoveries, but their name, physical descriptors, and which cases they actually worked on. Not just from the agency files, but from the memories of the people they worked with for many years. Suddenly, they'll know that they know that person, but the name will never come to mind. It would be vague, and when questioned, the person would just bring up hazy mentions of that one person, who did that thing those times. There is also no information on what happened to the former heads, but it's assumed that when the successor took over, the old one died in the line of duty. Because looking at the list of fallen members, there are always more names and dates than what are actually employed. In death, their deeds seem to be revealed. And while that successor, chosen from one of the senior agents, is trained, that council member will go from active to passive member, letting a passive member of the council take over that member's duties. Taking samples of the council creature and receiving silvers from one of the masks received from one of the heads. Exhaustive tests were run on both materials, but they all came back with one conclusion: inconclusive. The DNA of the creature has pinged unknown, and the carbon dating of the material of the masks has an unknown conclusion. Efforts to analyze the material, the methods of communication between the masks, and the connected creature have all failed as well. It is something that continues to bring amusement to the heads of the agency. They know this creature is one of the few with no answers receivable by human knowledge. They may in fact know what it is, but will not be shared with those of lower ranks, because one of them famously stated, "Having knowledge of something gives you power over it."